Ian Murray.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And can I say I'm really looking forward to reading the member for Hemel Hempstead's diaries, particularly the bits that he's just saying. And can I wish you and every member of this House, Mr Speaker, a very Merry Christmas? Or that is indeed what I would have done had I made this speech back in December when we were supposed to have had the conclusion of this debate. And we've done nothing over the last month apart from give the government an opportunity to ramp up the no-deal rhetoric that even the Foreign Secretary admitted this morning may not be an advisable choice for this country. Never in the recent history of this Parliament has the next few days been so important to this country and indeed to my constituents. And I think many in this House forget that they were sent here for two reasons. Firstly, and most importantly, to represent the constituents that they represent, but also to look after the best interests of the country. There will be lots of debate and argument, but never the sound of the division bell will be held in such significance as it will be on Tuesday as to which direction this country takes. And I say to those who know across this House that they want to do the right thing, but the rules of the game of this House preclude them from doing the right thing, that they should do the right thing for the country. Brave politicians break the rules. Brave politicians smash the moulds and do what's in the best interests of the country. This government certainly want to smash the mould. They are in danger of being the first government in history to wilfully and knowingly make the country poorer. This is the first in history that proudly admits that they will make my constituents poorer. Surely that can't be correct. Surely nobody voted to be poorer. So we need to stop this catastrophe now, and that means voting against the shoddy, blind, worst of all worlds Brexit deal and putting this back to the people in a public vote. Let's have more democracy, not less. We are 77 days away. The stakes could not be higher, and all the major questions as to the future are still unanswered. It's a time for the government in particular to start being honest with the country. But the Prime Minister can't be honest with the country because of fear from our own backbenches. And given the Home Secretary today told this House that we can have all the migration we wish for all the sectors that require it, plus uncapped international student immigration, and plus trade deals where migration will be at the top of the agenda, and still cut migration in net terms down to tens of thousands, is disingenuous to the people of this country. These deceptions must stop because they are not in the national interest. And the first thing that the government could do in the national interest is rule out a no-deal scenario. We know that any deal or any agreement, in particular a no-deal in this agreement that's on the table, will make our country poorer and much poorer than what we currently enjoy as a member of the EU. And this is where the government's problem comes in. You have two choices, one of two choices. You either leave the EU with no deal and have a clean Brexit, or you stick as close as possible you can to the EU institutions to reduce the pain and suffering and cost of a no-deal Brexit. And what the Prime Minister has done has set red lines, which means she does neither, and therefore has united Leavers and Remainers in this chamber against this deal. And then we come to the vacuous soundbite of taking back control of our borders, laws and money. I wish I had slightly more time, Mr Speaker, because actually I'd like to explain why the deal on the table means that we cede control of our borders, laws and money, more so than where we currently are at the moment. And this doesn't include 80% of services in our economy. That's services like financial services and higher education that are critical for jobs in my constituency. So I say that no unicorns are better than bad unicorns for this country. And it's much wider than the economy. It's about EU citizens. It's about our outlook to the world. It's about driving change in Europe. It's about taking our place in the world as someone who wants to work together with others. We cannot achieve what we want to achieve being an isolationist nation. In fact, the notion of global Britain, I'm glad the Foreign Office Minister is here, is as empty as a slogan as taking back control. So let's be bold. Let's take this deal on the table and give it back to the people in a people's vote and let them decide if this is the kind of Brexit they wanted and if they want to save the country from the self-harm that we are just about to inflict on ourselves, they could quite simply vote Remain and keep us in the European Union.